Recording in progress. Okay. And
Good
hopefully
show.
I could figure out where in my computer it saves the script.
Right.
So um hi, I'm Adam Katz for dogtrainertoolbox.com and the Dog Trainer Marketing Group on Facebook. Today I've got a very special guest, Orlando Cuevas of Broward County Dog Training. And I wanted to bring Orlando on because number one, he's a super smart guy and a very successful dog training business owner. He's been in the dog training industry for years and years now. I've known him for years. And what I wanted to have him share with you is how he works his leads. So he's been getting a lot of Facebook leads. He's running Facebook ads. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit. Hopefully, it's not cutting off my head too much. Um, and there's a lot of talk about Facebook ads, the leads not being good leads and being junk leads and all of that. Yet I've got, probably 15 to 20 clients now who consistently month over month, year over year, are running Facebook ads, or I'm helping them run Facebook ads, and they're getting great results. So I wanted to kind of interview Orlando, as well as later today I'm going to interview Justin Ward, who's Ward's Dog Training in Dallas, to find out what they're doing differently, how they're able to profit from these leads when many others maybe aren't. So, Orlando, why don't you take a minute or two and kind of tell me a little bit, tell the people in TV land a little bit about your background in dog training and what your business looks like right now.
Sure, sure. So I'm currently in South Florida near Fort Lauderdale, so Broward County. I started my training career up in Ohio and did that for years, running a big location up there as part of a franchise. And it's a work in progress, as everybody knows, from day one to to where you ultimately end up. And with me, I'm a big push on, you're constantly learning, whether it's the Facebook or whether it's learning new techniques or going through different seminars, books, videos, and so on. So constantly building that knowledge. And then when it came to the leads, when I first started and how we used to get our leads and even ranking Google, obviously is way different than it is now. So you not only had to figure out how to get that phone to ring, but also how do we connect with these guys? So that's been a big thing for us here.
So, and you were at one point you were running Google ads, or having I think the guy that I saw in my agency run Google ads for you, and then stopped because the results that you were getting from Facebook ads was so much better. And I'm not saying that I'm not suggesting that everyone should do that. What I found is that in certain markets, Google ads do better than Facebook ads. In other markets, Facebook ads do better than Google ads. And in general, I'd say if you can run both of them, depending on if you're close enough and cost per lead. But for you, I think that was the path you went, right?
Absolutely. And Google did great for us. And I didn't switch to Facebook simply because I wasn't getting results on Google. I just had overwhelming results on Google. So when we paused the account, the campaign, I was like, well, let me run Facebook just to kind of get things that keep trickling in to maintain things until we catch up and kind of relaunch Google again. And when I did that, Facebook just exploded. So from that day, I never went back to Google.
Awesome, awesome. So what is it that you think you're doing when with working the leads that is getting you results with Facebook leads when so many others maybe aren't?
I can tell you my preference is talking on the phone. This day and age, a lot of people want to do things through text. And if someone's pushing through text or communicating a lot through text, I will go that route. I'm not going to force them to get on the phone. But the main thing is talking to them, because it's way different when you hear a voice and you're talking and you can actually answer questions in the moment. There's no delay. And then the conversation's 3 minutes long versus text throughout the entire day. Right. So the first and most important thing is when that lead comes in, you got to call them right away. You got to. And we have a spreadsheet. So we do a minimum of 3 phone calls, 3 texts, and 3 emails. Right. So day one, they're getting one of each. When that lead comes in, we're calling, leaving a voicemail, sending them a text and an email. And then the next day, we're calling them again. And then
Okay.
we'll wait a couple days before we call them again because we want to stay fresh in their mind. They reached out to us for a reason. And with the lead forms, it's not one of those, oh, I accidentally clicked the ad. They actually have to put their information in. So there is a need there. They are interested in learning more, and you want to get in their head and in their ear right away. So we make sure we contact, within 24 hours, if not immediately.
Okay, so walk me through the process. on day one, let's say on Monday, lead comes in 9 a.m. in the morning. How does that lead get worked or processed?
So it goes right into our lead sheet, which now with our CRM, we work with PetBiz and everything goes through them. So it automatically goes into our CRM, right? So the way
Let,
it's
let me
set
just
up,
jump in there real quick. You can learn more about them if you go to dogtrainertoolbox.com. One of the boxes has a link to that company. It's Leanne Shinton, who does a fantastic job. She's amazing. But if you want to know the system that Orlando's using, you go through dogtrainertoolbox.com.
absolutely highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. But the way it's set up is it gives us 10 minutes to respond when the lead first comes in. That way, if I'm in front of the computer and the lead comes in, I'm jumping on the phone and we're there. After 10 minutes, they'll get an automated response. And a lot of the automation through that system is it still feels personal. Doesn't always come off like a bot with voicemail drops and responses and
Nice.
stuff like that. So we're boom right in their head. So it buys us a little bit of time, we're now, okay, we're in front of them. Hey, look, they actually called me back because one of the things we hear the most, unfortunately, is I contacted such and such dog trainer and they never called me back. Right. So we're big on making sure we call. Um, if the lead at that point doesn't go into the system and book their own evaluation, we're then calling them. I'm on the phone. We're talking to them. If we have to leave a message, that message is followed up with the text and the email. So that's like, all right, these people, it's a real company, real live person, and they're actually reaching out to talk to me.
Right, right, right. Explain that to me a little bit. So if you don't get in touch with them on the phone, then the text or the email includes a link where they can then go and book a consultation.
Yes, that's how we have it set up here.
Gotcha, gotcha. What percentage of leads do that versus ones that want to talk to you first?
So the way we have this set up now within booking their own evals has only been going on for a couple weeks. So right now I'm gonna say it's probably 50-50, 60-40 where they're booking.
Okay.
Because we're tweaking. That's the nice thing about working with PetBiz and Leanne is they're really good on taking the feedback of what we're seeing in the moment and helping tweak it to make it better so it works for your market. Because every market's different. You can't take a cookie
Yeah.
cutter approach to it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So lead comes in on 9 a.m. Monday. You call them back hopefully within 10 minutes. And if you can't get back to them or you don't hear, they don't answer the phone, they get a text and an email.
Correct.
Okay. And then if you still don't hear back from them, what happens next?
Calling them the next day.
You call them the next day.
So, yeah. So if I called them at 9 a.m. today, I'm going to call them in the afternoon or early evening tomorrow because maybe they didn't answer because, they're at work. Some people
Right.
can't answer the phone at work or whatever the case may be. Or they just got home from work and they sent that lead right before they went to bed. Right. So now I'm going to call them afternoon, evening because now I know I got a better chance of contacting them, reaching them.
Nice, nice. And then also follow up with a text and an email on day two.
So day two, the system is going to continue with the text and the emails. They have it down to a science that they're constantly tweaking as far as, they want to push hard in the first few days when it's fresh in their mind
Okay.
before we consider the lead a cold lead.
Okay. So then how many days out are you following up? When do you give up and say, they're not interested?
So what ends up happening is as far as me reaching out and calling them, all those calls and texts are done within the first week, right?
Okay.
And the nice thing about PetBiz is they then go into a nurture where periodically they're getting emails and they're getting newsletters and they're getting stuff where they're constantly seeing Broward County dog training, Broward County dog training. That way, if for some reason they didn't get back to us, it's because life got busy, they're dealing with family stuff or whatever. When it clears up, we're still fresh in their mind. And it's not like they're starting the process over. They're able to click on the link, book, or call, or they can even request a call. And that way we're there until they opt out of it, just like anything else. They can unsubscribe, and then everything stops there.
So
And
how,
then
how, how much how much longer are they hearing from you after that initial contact?
it goes on for weeks for
4
sure.
weeks. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the further it goes, the more spread out they are. They may get, a newsletter once every couple of weeks. It's not like we're being annoying. We
Right.
don't
Okay.
want, we don't want to push their hand into pushing the unsubscribe button.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
like,
You
okay,
don't
yeah,
be
you know
doing
what?
it
I got to
this.
keep this in mind.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing I do with my calls though is that last call that I make, that last voicemail that I make when I call them, if I don't get a hold of them, I say, I just wanted to reach out to you one last time about the free evaluation that you inquired about. So you remind them that, hey, you contacted me. I didn't pull your name out of nowhere. And this is my last attempt of reaching out to you. So if this is something you really want, call me back.
Yeah, guys watching this at home, that's gold. I mean, that tip right there is can change everything for you, right? Because you were telling me that you can't, and just as a point of clarification, how many times are you typically reaching out on the phone to them? Like 5 times?
3 times,
Three
first and
times.
fourth.
Okay. So that third time, when you say that, it kind of works as a kick in the butt to get them, get them getting back to you, right?
Correct. Correct.
Right.
And
Okay.
you also got those people, hey, call me back in next month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We're making sure we're on it. Not only are we putting it in the schedule, but that 3 calls and text messages and all that starts fresh then, right? So you asked me to call you back on such and such a date. I'm calling you back, and I'm gonna make sure I try my hardest to get you on the phone.
Working those leads. I love it. I mean, this is really the way that successful businesses operate. Now, what would you say to the dog trainers who say, look, you know, they contacted me. I try and call them back, and they don't want to answer the phone, and that just suggests they're not very interested. Obviously, you're doing this for a reason. You're a smart guy, and there's a return on investment, right, in following up and working these leads.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, life happens, right? We have no idea what's going on the other end of the phone. They could be at work, it could be a stressful day, they could be dealing with all types of stuff, sleeping. There's so much so to give one call, you're not doing yourself any justice or benefit to just like, oh, they didn't answer, they must not be serious. Because how many times is your phone ringing and you don't answer?
Yeah.
They contacted you for a reason, and so you want to make sure you do what you have to do to get on the phone with them.
Yeah, yeah. And look, I mean, me personally, I don't answer my phone at all. Somebody calls me, it goes to voicemail, and I'll check the voicemail, when I can, and then get back to them. If it's, if it's urgent or if it's not, then I'll get back to them in a couple of days. But I think there's a lot of dog trainers who leave a message. They say, call me back. They never hear back from the client. And to me, it's a waste of money, especially if you're paying for leads. I mean, you're always paying for leads, whether you're paying cash or, cash money or your time investment, right? One way or the other, you're paying for the leads. And if you don't have systems and processes in place to follow up with those leads, you're just leaving too much money on the table. How much money would you figure you're leaving on the table by if you were not following up more than once?
I mean, I couldn't. I don't even want to imagine that number. You know what I mean? It's the amount of calls that we book on our second and third call. I mean, that's a high number. So, I
You
mean, we're
say
definitely leaving a lot of money on the
50%,
table.
70%,
I would say more than half.
more
You
than
know what I
half.
mean? More
Okay.
than half. Yeah, because if you're not calling them back the instant that lead comes in, then you figure you got less of a chance of them picking up the phone. So you
Right.
have to be ready to follow up with that. So I would say definitely. I mean, there's a lot of times where, that third call, I completely forgot. I'm so glad you reached out. Let's go ahead and schedule. And that's just phone calls. Because like I said, a lot of people push to communicate through text more than calls for, one reason or another.
Do you feel you get a lot of when you follow up, you get a lot of, hey, why are you calling me? Or, why are you bothering me? Or that type of response?
No, and I'll tell you why. Like when we first started running the Facebook ads a long time ago, it was one of those things where you kind of just click on it and automatically generated your information and sent over. We
Right.
used to get a lot of that then. Now we actually use lead forms, so they actually have to take the time to put their information in. So they're expecting a call,
Right,
right?
right, right.
And if we do get that why you're calling me, it's probably because somebody else signed them up because they think their dog needs it. Right. So,
That's good. That's good.
and just to take it one step further, it's the same thing when we do the evaluation. If they don't sign up on the spot and they say, "Oh, let us think about it," I'm like, I don't just say, "Okay, call me when you're ready," and never call them.
Right.
The very next day, I'm reaching out, "Hey, just wanted to follow up with you, see if you had any questions or thoughts that I could answer for you." Because sometimes you got to remind, "Oh, yeah, that's right. We did talk about it. We want to do this," right? versus just hoping they call you back. So the phone calls don't stop just until we, get them on the phone to book the eval. We got a follow-up system after the eval as well.
Guys, watching this at home, this is such gold. I mean, I don't know if you realize it or not, but this is Orlando's a winner. I mean, he's a winner by for many different metrics, but specifically his mindset in following up with these leads. This is really what you need to do if you want to have a successful dog training business. And I know there's people out there who say, "Well, I don't do that, and I'm successful," and they're a one-man operation, and they've been that way for 40 years. Which fine, if that's what you want, and you're making ends meet, then fine. But if you want to help more dogs, if you want to help more dog owners, if you want a broader footprint, if you want to avoid burnout and bring in other people into your organization to help you do the things that you don't want to do, cleaning kennels or whatever, you need to make the most of the leads coming in. You need to maximize the leads. You need to work the leads so that you get the most juice for the squeeze, so to speak. What advice would you have for new dog trainers who are new to the industry and they want to ramp up as fast as they can, and what pitfalls would you suggest they avoid?
Well, the biggest thing is, first coming up, especially if you want to ramp up quickly. No, you can't do it on your own, right? Sometimes you got to spend money to make money, and there's so many resources out there, from your Facebook, services to Google, even trying to figure out Facebook on your own. I mean, $10 a day is better than zero, right? So,
Right.
you have to get your name out there, branding, working your dog, and open communication. So my big thing is don't feel like just because you're starting out that you have to do it all on your own. Don't be afraid to spend money. Don't put yourself broke, obviously. Don't be afraid to spend money and get your name out there. That way that phone starts ringing.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I feel like a big percentage of the people who fail in this industry, and it's hard to fail. I mean, there's so much demand for dog training. Even now with more dog trainers and everything, there's still so much demand. But I feel like a lot of the people who do fail, they're undercapitalized. They come in with zero money, and you can do that. You can bootstrap your way up, by running your business, on the weekends or in the evenings until you get enough grub stake together. But if you really want to if you really want to ramp up quickly, you have to invest. And a lot of times, in my experience, that means throwing a plate of spaghetti against the wall and you see what sticks, and most of it's not going to stick. But the
Right.
stuff that does stick, i.e., the stuff that works, you reinvest in that to get more and more response. So,
And
um,
I would go on to say as well, this you got to kind of figure out your own niche too in your own market.
what does that
You know,
mean?
I have a lot of friends in the industry who are very successful, who do their virtual evals or their phone consults, and they do great for what they want. Success is measured
Right,
differently by each person.
right.
That's not me. I'm not doing a phone evaluation. I want to be in front of you. I want to shake your hand. I want to meet your dog. I want to have that personal connection. So I don't do well with phone. I've tried it a couple times. No. And in this market, people love the fact they thank me for coming out and taking the time to meet with them and their dog. That goes a long way, right? Because you're
Yeah.
not selling dog training services by itself. You're selling yourself.
Yes.
Way easier to do when you're in front of them.
Yes. 110%. Couldn't agree more. I think that it's so important. And again, that gets down to maximizing every single lead. You want to, in my opinion, you want to sell the highest percentage of leads that you can, right? You're spending money on those leads, and that's how you grow the business. And so, in my experience, you're going to sell the most, you're going to close the most, and I have to add help. Sorry, we've got lawn care guys outside, and they're tripping my alarm system. Um, we want to maximize the number of leads that we sell, and the best way to do that is to actually get in front of people face to face. And by the way, you communicate beautifully. You have that it factor that I think really contributes to your success. And actually, this is, I think, the first time we've talked a lot on voicemail and the messenger thing. I think this is the first time we've actually been face to face.
Right, right.
And I think you need to do more. I think you need to do more video. You come across really well. You communicate really well. And so I'd be excited to see you invest more of your time towards the video stuff because I think you're natural.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. We started making some instructional video for our clients and, just finding means of giving our clients more resources, to
Yeah.
make it easier for them. So
Yeah,
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 definitely.
cool. Well, listen, in closing, is there anything else that you'd like to add that may help, people out? Or
Again, I network, right? So reach out to your resources. I tell you, I speak to people all over the world that we bounce ideas off of each other. And anybody outside of the US, I haven't met any of them. You know what I mean? Whether
right.
they're in Australia or whatever. And we talk like we've known each other our whole lives. I mean, there's people that's been doing this a lot longer than you. And I tell everybody, the day you feel like you know it all is the day you need to retire. That's the
Yeah,
day you stop training. So utilize your resources. Don't be afraid to fail. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get up, right? And like you said, if it sticks and it works, great, keep going. But if it doesn't, learn from it and move on. Each day is a new day to start fresh, and you got to learn from every moment.
great advice. Hey, for those of you watching at home, if you're not a member of the Dog Trainer Marketing Group, you can get on, subscribe at on Facebook. Just put the Dog Trainer Marketing Group at the top. And Orlando hangs out in the group a lot. So if you have questions for him, you can direct the questions there. And be sure to check out dogtrainertoolbox.com. We have links to not only our Facebook ad service, but also people I recommend for Google Ads and for SEO and for business coaching, as well as tools and training and all kinds of other stuff to help you grow your dog training business, help you help more dogs, and help you help more dog owners because that's what it's all about. I'm Adam Katz for dogtrainertoolbox.com. Wanted to thank Orlando one more time, and we'll talk to you soon, guys.